Hey everyone, today I'm going to share with you my Endless Pens order. They had some amazing sales this past weekend, which was the 4th of July weekend, and I think they still have a couple of sales going on. They always have like their hot drop sale, which I think you can only access if you sign up for their newsletter and also on their like text message. So they send those to you almost daily, well weekly, I think it changes. But one of the things I know I haven't done is actually share with you how their packaging comes. So I think it's really nice that they offer like this seal of tape here just in case there is any moisture on the way that it's, you know, coming to you. And it's well secured. So let's open it up if I can. So with this 4th of July sale, I would personally think that they've had some of the best sales I've seen since like Black Friday. And I'm just saying in general when it comes to other pen shops. So even if you are new to fountain pens or an expert or been in the fountain pen game for a while, definitely check them out. So I only got a few things. I got the Lamy ink. This is my very first like actual Lamy bottle. I have received some of the Lamy cartridges back probably 4 years ago when I was buying a lot of Lamy pens. And then I got the Manuscript pen and something I've been eyeing for a long time now. Okay, so I have two other Opuses, but this would be my first clear demonstrator Opus. And then here is their like warranty card. So they have a coupon code in the back, but they put this in all of the packaging when you order a fountain pen, I believe. And so let's get started with, let's do the Manuscript first. So I did not know much of anything about this pen. Some of the things I look for when I do get a new pen or want to buy a new pen, I kind of just look at what I already have, what I love, and anything special that I don't have. So what caught my eye for this one is the color of the pen, the brand as well. And I didn't even realize that they offer like this little stand display type of packaging, which is really cool. So this pen caught my eye because of the color. So this is the oyster color, and it's this pretty cream with some shades of gray and some like darker shades of cream, and then it has a really nice shape. So as I'm looking at this, it kind of reminds me of a Conklin with its roundness, but then the middle of the barrel is quite thicker, and then it tapers off towards the ends, but the main barrel tapers a little bit more than the cap side. What I like is that it's not that big. My hands aren't as, I mean, I guess I would say like average woman size hands. I wear like a medium to large in gloves, and I would say that this is a really nice size. And even with the cap off, I could see that it's even smaller, which is quite nice. It's very lightweight. As I was researching this pen, one of my concerns was the step down, which is just referring to going from the body down to the pen grip, and it's quite substantial. Let's see. My pen case from Galen leather, and as I compare the step downs to like a custom 823, it's not as substantial. Even if I were to compare it to a Sailor Slim, nope, this is not a Sailor Slim, sorry, a Sailor Pro Gear, you can see how there's more. It's not a big gap here between this part of the barrel and then where your grip is. Okay, so just in case you were wondering what it means by step down, that's just some of the examples. So I did get a 1.5 stub, and I think it's an italic stub, yes. So it's slightly uneven, and we will see how that writes. And also, I think I should have received, oh, I knew something was in here. So it does come with a cartridge, but it also has a cartridge converter. So with this display, I have the cartridge converter, and then they've also included another cartridge in the bag, which is nice that they've included two. But I will be using some ink today, so we are going to ink it up, most likely with my Lamy turquoise. Well, it's called Lamy tourmaline. Sorry, my hands are quite shaky. I think it's because I have coffee. This is my second cup of coffee today, and I didn't realize how shaky my hands were. Okay, so my first Lamy bottle, 50 mLs. And I'm excited to see if it includes, okay, so it does include the little paper, which is like a blotting sheet that you can use to wipe your pen. And I think you can remove this. I thought you can remove it. I think you can. Right now, I guess I can't, but it's kind of conical at the bottom so that you can fit your pen in and pull up the ink. So we're gonna swatch this and see how pretty this color is. I like to keep my boxes as long as the box is in good shape, and this one is in great shape. So I will definitely be keeping the box. And last but not least is the Opus 88. And I'm pretty sure many of you have seen a unboxing of an Opus. It is kind of a lot of packaging, but the boxes are quite nice. They have like a magnetic snap, so they can be used for something else if you want to repurpose it. It includes like the information and how to use the pen. And then it also has an eyedropper, which is nice because not everyone who owns fountain pens have this readily available. So they do offer it for you. And I think it's glass, but you just pull it up to the lip up at the top, so it kind of extends out, and then you just suck up the ink. And then here it is. Okay, so this is gorgeous. It seems quite simple, and on camera I don't think it does it that much justice. The end cap, on both sides, on both ends, are like crystal clear. So you can definitely see through them, and it's just a nice touch to this pen, even though the body is slightly opaque, just a little. So I ended up getting another broad because the broad on my last Opus 88, which is this one, wrote so well, and I just felt like I needed another one. So I got another broad. We'll see how they work together. The thing about the Opus 88, which makes them really great, is that they hold a lot of ink. And so I would say that they are roughly comparable to a TWSBI, except that the TWSBIs are like very inexpensive in comparison. But this material is quite nice, and I just like the aesthetic, especially this clear one. It's clear barrel. And I've also heard that you can replace the nib with a Pilot Parallel, which I happen to have nearby, which is like a pen like this. And I don't know how it's done. I'm guessing this part can be removed and you can slip it into here. And the thing about Pilot Parallels is that the inks, you use up the ink quite fast, because depending on the size of the nib, it just expels a lot of ink. So it's great to have a body that holds a lot of ink like this pen. So let's see, what pen should I ink up with this ink? Should it be the Manuscript or the Opus 88? Because this Opus 88 has a bluish tint, it actually has Emerald de Chauffeur in here, which is like a turquoisey color. But I think I'm gonna put this one in here, and I'm gonna find a new ink for this guy. So I will be back in just a second. So I initially thought I was going to use Ferris wheel press ink, but the bottle is quite precious and small, and I always forget to think about that before I pull this out. Now, I will be using this on something else, and I do plan to do another video on like what's inked, but for now I'm gonna go with an ink I haven't used in years, which is the Lexington Gray. I was a little nervous about this one, but because there's so much and I don't really use it, I think now is a good time to consider using it, and it came in their typical packaging. I have my rag here, which is beautifully inked with watercolor and the fountain pens ink. Let's ink this baby up. Gonna move this out of the way. Just want to open the barrel and unscrew it. It does have a gasket here, which is great for making sure everything is sealed. And I'm going to pull this back, and I didn't do this the last time I inked up my last Opus, but it's good to pull this back a bit and pull the rod back. And it just makes it easier to suck up the ink and put it in without it getting on like this, the threads here. So I'm gonna give this a little bit of a shake. And put this in here further down. Wow, this color seems like it's changed a lot I hope it still works okay. All right. So I'm gonna put, now that I have it inked, I'm gonna put the top back and screw it on. And then, actually I think, okay, it's a little squeaky. I'm just pushing down on the rod, and I did it while this was partially on and but not all the way, so that there was some air to escape. And I shouldn't be doing this so close to the bottle since it's open, but this is on tight. I'm gonna cap the bottle. And I'm gonna keep this open so that the ink can flow through to this middle section and hopefully fill up the feed. And I'm gonna put the cap on while I ink up the next pen. So I'm gonna give this a little bit of a turn. I have my converter here. I'm going to make sure it's pushed in. And there's two ways you can do this. Some pen brands suggest only one way, but you can either fill your pen from the feed and this part of the pen, or you can fill it from just the cartridge converter. So you just dip the converter in, and I will try it this way. And then, oh, that's a really nice fill with just a couple turns. So it did fill almost all the way. And then I will, see, oh, I messed up. I don't think that this ink is permanent, but already ink got on here and it's not easily wiping off of the barrel color. That's the only thing that scares me just a tad when it comes to lighter pen barrels. So that will definitely take more time for the pen to, or for the feed to get filled with ink and for the nib to write, because it has a long way to travel, which is the same here, but with it open, because my rod is pulled back a little bit, it's open. But to speed it along, what you could do is dip your pen into the bottle, and you don't have to go all the way to the top, but dip it enough to where part of the feed is filled with ink, and that should speed along the ink from the cartridge converter. So I'm just gonna give it another minute or so and see how it goes while I grab my book. So this book has been used mainly for testing inks and tuning some nibs. So fingers crossed that these nibs are well tuned. Let's start with the Opus. One thing about the Opus 88 is that you cannot post it. It will not fit, not even close. Okay, so because it's taking longer than normal, I'm going to speed this along and dip my nib in. Yes, so far so good. Okay, so this gray is more black to me. And I thought Lexington Gray was supposed to be blue gray. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. It just writes really well, and I love the amount of ink that comes out of it. And I was hoping to be able to use this to draw and use with watercolors, so I will be testing that out, and I will be sharing that on my Patreon. My hands are so wobbly. Next time I cannot drink any coffee before doing a writing video. All right, this is a very well-tuned pen, and it writes, whoa, really well in reverse. It's not scratchy. Man, I lucked out. I think I did. So what you can do if you're done writing with your Opus 88, I do suggest that you close off the rod so that your pen doesn't potentially leak. There has been a couple of times where I have left it opened and I did not have any leakage, but just to make sure that you take care of your pen, you want to close this up so that ink is not readily kind of filling up in the barrel more than it needs to be. But yeah, so Opus 88 is absolutely wonderful. Now let's try the Manuscript. I'm just gonna put the box here. I guess you can post it, but the threads in here, it just seems like it may scratch the material. So let's see if this is ready. It is, okay. Wow, this is pretty. And this writes really, really smooth. No skipping so far. Lamy, and I spelled that wrong. And I was about to spell it wrong again. Just gonna zoom in a little bit more. So this is the Lamy. Okay, I don't know why they don't have the name of the ink on the box. So that means I have to go to my shipment order information on my phone to get the spelling. So this is Lamy Tourmaline Special Edition. And you do get, because it is a 1.5 nib, or stub, you do get a lot of variation in your lines. And I typically like to hold my pen straight on because I do like to get those really thick downstrokes. But I know others hold it differently to really exaggerate their handwriting. So this is called the Manuscript ML 1856. And and it does write in reverse slightly. But yeah, this is actually well tuned as well. There's no sharp edges. And I usually write with the larger nib pens in my Hobonichi for either titles or just some more exaggerated names. And yeah, so that's usually what I use it for. Sometimes I use it in like my planners, but since most of my planners are pretty, like have tiny squares, I can't really use something like this on the daily. So it's just something that I use for fun, usually when I'm journaling, and yeah. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I am so excited about these two, and the fact that I don't have to try to find nib replacements for them. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. And until next time, I hope you guys stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video.